Hello there, everyone. It's Kathy with Paper Phenomenon. I'm going to take you on a journey. For some of you, it may be deja vu, but I think you'll enjoy it. We're going to create an album cover from start to finish two ways. One, with P3 tape. The second way will be with cardstock. All right? We're going to be working on this album right here. This is the Moving Parts Part 1 album. But this is not about moving parts. This is about the basics of creating the album cover and the binding system. I want these to be your go-to videos when you're creating an album cover and the hollow hidden hinge binding system, just on assembly and technique. All right. It is very important to follow certain techniques when you are creating these two things, and these can be your reference videos. All right. So the first video we're going to watch is creating the album cover using P3 tape. I will upload a video every day after, and then we'll follow that with creating the album cover with cardstock. And then we'll do the binding, we'll attach our pages, and we'll decorate the album cover. Everything has technique. Once again, these can be your go-to videos. If you're looking for a new way on how to create these things, maybe you're having some trouble with cracking, whatever the case may be, you may find something here very, very helpful. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's start watching the first video. And again, that's going to be creating the album cover using P3 tape. Hello there. Let's create an album cover with P3 tape. So for basic album cover using P3 tape, you will always do the following. First thing you want to do is cut 4 pieces of P3 tape to the length of your album cover. Okay. I personally like to cut mine about 1/8 of an inch shorter, so that I don't have to worry about overhang. All right, so just about 1/8 of an inch shorter than the length of your album cover. You need 4 pieces. And these pieces you're going to attach as follows. All right, so let's grab the spine. And this doesn't matter what size your album cover is. These steps are always exactly the same. All right, so we're going to attach one to the left and the right hand side of the spine. So for the spine, you're going to attach your P3 tape at about, and you don't have to do this, I just want to show you, all right, because we're going to remove this tape backing. All right, at about 1/2 inch into the tape. All right, so about there is where you want to attach your P3 tape. This is for the spine, because it is different when you attach to the outer, to the covers. All right, so at about 1/2 inch, you're going to go ahead and attach your P3 tape. All right, it can be less, but it cannot be more than that, because then you won't have room for your spacer tape. I like to flip mine over and then attach. So it's always super convenient to cut just slightly shorter than the length of your cover. That way, again, you don't have overhang. Then what you want to do is you need a spacer. Okay, spacer tape is absolutely important. Your spacer, 9 times out of 10, is 3/8 of an inch. That should be your rule of thumb. It is the best spacing that you should have. And you can either draw a line with a ruler, or you can use your 3/8 inch Maker Basics tape and use that as your spacer. I like to leave 3/8 inch spacer, because my chipboard is thicker than most. My chipboard is thicker than a medium weight chipboard. All right, so I need some wiggle room right there in this in this area in between the album covers so that my album functions properly. If you're using a thinner chipboard, something thinner than mine is a 70-point chipboard. If you're using like a medium weight chipboard, you can get away with a 1/4 of an inch spacer. All right. So spacer tape. Then you want to attach your front and back cover right up against that spacer tape. You don't want to leave any extra space. Right, so you want to line it up top to bottom and then attach the front and back cover. If you drew a line with a pencil, then you want to attach your cover right onto that pencil line. All right. There you have it. Cover done. All right, or partially done. So burnish that into place. Then you want to take the remaining 2 pieces of tape and you want to attach these midway now. All right, let me show you just like I did before. So midway on your P3 tape is where you want to attach these right here. See that? Right there. All right, so let's remove the tape backing. It will not be a crime if you do not attach it midway if you're, slightly over that or under that. Okay, you just want enough space to be able to wrap your album, to wrap the edges of the album cover. All right, so again, if it's shorter or under, no big deal. See, I went a little bit high here, no big deal. The problem here is that now I have overhang and I have to cut it. So that's the only thing. It's annoying. So just take it easy and space it properly and you won't have extra work. All right, or you can cut even a little shorter, 1/4 of an inch under, and you won't have to worry about overhang. All right, so I'm going to cut my overhang off. Okay. Then you want to cut 2 lengths to the width of your album cover plus that tape. So you're going to measure from the edge of the tape all the way to the other side edge of the tape and you cut. I usually cut a little bit more, but if you are really frugal with your tape, just cut it to the length. You just have to be careful with your placement. If you're off by a 1/4 of an inch on either side, it's no big deal. We're going to miter anyway. All right. So just know that these measurements are quite flexible. Okay. So you don't have to really worry about being exact. All right. So now you're going to cut 2 lengths, one for the top, one for the bottom. Then for this side, you're going to attach your album cover midway as well. Okay, midway. See that? And if you have overhang, feel free to cut it off. You don't necessarily have to because we're going to be mitering, so you can cut that all off at one time. Okay, but if things like that drive you crazy, you can trim it off. Okay. So let's remove the tape backing. Got to have long arms for this. Then you want to attach your cover midway onto the tape. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Burnish everything into place. Right now what you want to do is miter. And if you're using my chipboard, you want to miter about 1/4 of an inch away from the corner. So here's my corner. You're not going to miter right up against the corner. You're going to miter about 1/4 of an inch away from the corner. Okay? So you can eyeball that or you can take a ruler and draw it. All right, so that's about 1/4 of an inch. And again, if things not being lined up perfectly make you nuts, just square it off. And I will tell you that that little corner there will make me nuts. So I will cut that off. No judgment here, my friends. No judgment. And again, so position your scissors at about 1/4 of an inch away from the corner of the chipboard and cut all 4 sides. And again, I can't stress enough the size of the album cover. These steps are always true with P3 tape. Okay, so here I'm showing you how to make your album cover with P3 tape, a standard album cover. Okay, the spacer is exactly the same, the number of pieces of tape, and the process is the same. All right, so trimming that off. Now, next step that is always the same. You want to remove at this point the spacer tape backing. All right, the spacer tape backing you remove at this point. If you drew a line with a pencil, you have nothing to remove, right? You don't have to use tape because the adhesive on the P3 tape is more than enough. But this is what I've always done. I'm just so used to it. I put the tape on there, guys. That's it. Now, the following is always true when you're making an album cover. Okay? You want to start on one end. And if you've been with me for a long time, I have changed my method of creating album covers because I learn new things through trial and error. So I have found that this is the best method thus far. All right. So you're going to start in a corner, right on that corner, and you're going to pull, and stick. And this is also true if you're using cardstock. Okay. Pull and stick, pull and stick, pull and stick, pull and stick, pull and stick. You're going to stop at about 1 inch away from your spacer tape. Burnish everything into place. That corner is important that you really pull it and you stick it. Okay? On to the next corner. Pull, stick, pull, stick, pull, stick, pull, stick, pull and stick, pull and stick. Stop about 1 inch away from that spacer tape. That measurement is not hard and fast. It is just about 1 inch. Then you come to the middle. Pull and stick. Pull and stick, pull and stick. All the way till you get to the edges of the chipboard. Then keep on going to the left, right, till you get to the edge of the chipboard. Keep on going. What happens when you do that? Look what you get. You see that little bubble lifting that you get right there? You need that. You need that space. You want this tape and the tape on this side and the tape on the bottom to make contact. This is very important when you are working with cardstock. Not so much with the P3 tape because the P3 tape is made out of fabric, but cardstock. This reduces the likelihood of your cardstock from tearing. All right, so now you're going to push that bubble in, and you really see it when you have it folded, right? So if you open it up, go back and push that in, have it stick to whatever you got going on in there, and you've created room in there so that when you close your album cover, your cardstock will not tear. Okay, now flip this over. Do the same exact thing to the other side. You start on a corner. You're going to pull and stick. Okay, pull and stick, pull and stick. Stop about 1 inch. You're going to ask me, why don't I just go all the way? Don't, because you need the space on this side, okay, from the spine area. Pull and stick. Promise you, I've tried this both ways. About 1 inch. Now from the middle. Stick it down. Work your way to the end of the spine. Now work your way to the end of the front and back cover. And you've got your little bumps. All right, you've got your little bumps. See my little bumps right there? pop that right in there and stick it down. Pop them right in there and stick it down. There you go. Perfection, my friends. Perfection. All right, now for this side, you're going to see that excess. See that? That excess tape has wrapped the corner. What you want to do is cover that corner, is what you're doing. So you are essentially tucking that in, or almost like if you were going to taper, but it's in a fold, not in a cut. When we taper, we go like this, right? We cut. But here, you're tapering, but you're folding the taper, all right? You're folding that excess cardstock or P3 tape onto itself, right? And around the corner. And you're creating this bit of a taper there. You see that? How perfect that is? And because the P3 tape has adhesive already on it, it sticks to itself. And you want to create a nice flat surface. Okay? So now look at that corner. It is completely covered. See, this one is slightly covered. We haven't did a folded taper, if you will, right? So I'm going to fold, but I'm doing like a tapering action. I'm tucking it in. And then I'm sticking the tape onto itself to create a nice flat surface so that when I fold this side over, there's no multiple layers there. It's flat here, and then this fold over will be nice and flat, and I should have a really nice flat corner. Right, so see, now you don't see that corner anymore. It's covered. Going to do the same thing here. You're folding in. You're essentially creating a bit of a taper there and covering that corner of the chipboard. All right, and now you're just simply going to fold this over. Doesn't matter if you're pulling from the side or the center, doesn't matter. But you're pulling because you want a nice tight wrap. And you're sticking it down. And my friends, you will have a perfect album cover with wrapped corners. Okay? No exposed chipboard. And no bulk. Okay, and beautiful. And the P3 tape here, guys, it's just a convenience. It's a fabric-based tape. The adhesive is amazing. And it's just a better material, right? And it saves time. And it's inexpensive. So you will love it. This comes in 2 colors, in white and in black. The white is more for dyeing if you want a custom color. And the black is just a staple. So it's a fantastic tape. If you have not tried it out, check out my shop, paperphenomenon.com, and give it a try. All right. Even if you're using cardstock and you're not using my P3 tape, you want to use this method. All right. I've been doing this for a very, very, very long time, and it has been tested multiple times because, again, I've been making albums for a long time. You want to give this a try. This is just a refresher. All right, so here is your album cover. It is done. Next, what you do is you attach your binding system. All right, whether that be my hollow hidden hinge, my regular hidden hinge, and my hidden hinge plus. I have 4 binding systems, and I have the pop-up platform. So you can choose any of those binding systems to attach to this album cover. All right, on to the next thing.